puri kumbalamuma. Monibasa.
Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again.
Ferena masalapu. Sana yote.
She wonders if you remember her. She's Noko. She let you ride her Majut when you were a kid.
Ferena masalapu.
Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark.
Inyadaldo.
But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going.
Inadabsunka. Asana yotpa.
Seems reluctant to even say its name. It's become personal to her too, since it's taken so many of her innocent gnotes as prey.
Beri? Narolote.
Noko remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be.
Andro? Pala. Puri kumbalamuma.
She sees you're back to buck with Lupa Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least.
Tukonda. Drumblene marsamambunundu.
She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still.
Arialoche nui mumera. Pola kuto.
Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like, until it's worn smooth. But you get to blaze your own trail from here. Then you are stronger than her. She can't help wanting Lupa Lupin to pay for what he did to her gnotes, despite the fact it's against her nature. Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones.
Andro? Minalagi mamuru. Kala.
The choices can be overwhelming, but you have to choose, or you just stay where you are. And what kind of choice is that?
Kamonu. Asil natu.
So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the gnotes die with it.
Asil natu. Kamonu.
Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out.
Masamal.
Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes the nights do.
Aplitonumuta. Vaseno kasaman varut.
They're just so shiny, makes her smile to think about them.
Masamal.
But let's not speak of that now.
Kanamunt.
She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow.
Kanyala notoro. Kanamunta. Ritsentede.
The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you.
Kototuku.
You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the Worldeater.
Kototuku. Kialdo male kanoto.
She's sad that something as wild as the hoof puff can't be tamed, but has to come to terms with the fact that you need to stop it. Gets any worse, you'll be able to swim away. You found the Majut Meadow. Watch out for the Majut. chop it up. Tap hard. Glad to see some wood scrap there. When it rains, it gets wet. Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm. But Noko is still concerned. She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down. The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down. She says that you should find some bonbon gummies for the Majut by the crossway. At least, that's where she found some last time. It's easy to describe. A crossway is where roads meet in a knot and merge. This one is in Sector 7J, if you're familiar with Out-of-Date's map. Couldn't stand another hour of daylight. Tippy tapper. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. Just a few moves left. Make them count. What you see is what you get. Once it's out of the blind box, that is.
Andro?
With its attention diverted to the chewy bonbon gummy, the Majut calms down. But Nocco is still concerned.
Ferena masalapu. Kanamunta. Andro?
She's relieved the Majut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got.
Apli tonumuta.
The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old world Mechamajut.
Amun. Pial tu ma.
If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the Smilo shopperia while scavenging for treats for the gnotes. That's not so far away.
Sana yote. Apli tonumuta. Pala.
Seems the old world had plenty to offer, and all in one place for those obsessed with material things. Almost too much, if you ask her. How far you can see from the top of a mountain. You need to loosen the bolts without rattling the Mechamajut. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Nocco.
Kanamunta. Brumblene marsamawunundun.
Now that the Majut's got a mouthful of bonbon gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Majut is ready to ride.
Anoraka papum. Brumblene marsamawunundun.
Nocco's been training another fantabulous little critter that'll hopefully become a distraction for the hoof puff when you confront it.
Kamonu. Dropalup. Narolute.
She's called them glitter moths, and the best way to find them is to go talk to Mito. She's asked him to keep them somewhere safe.
Ferena masalapu.
You'll find Mito at bright light. He's a light-headed fellow, but hopefully he'll remember where he stored the moths.
Kamonu.
They're small airborne creatures with bright reflective wings and a conspicuous fluttering flight.
Taifanamenuma.
Zaikantum.
Let's see. Even the trees are tougher here. With the world getting darker by the day, there's not much time left to save it, and even though you've just met, he feels you're bound to play a huge part in that.
Tutozinka timpo.
Figures that doesn't make it any less worth fighting.
Tutozinka timpo. Kaikika kokung.
You've found your way through the darkness. You shine like the sun in the sky, but will you use that power to warm the world or burn it?
Taifa.
Hopes you see how much good you can do with power like that, and how easy it is to let it drive you mad.
Tisinto mo.
No matter where your path takes you, though, it's important to remember where you came from. The past bright lights the present.
Yonko. Taikatapa. Munkine.
Wonders if you know how much of an effect you've had upon the world. Your presence changes things like light changes darkness. Did you realize that when choosing where to shine?
Munkine. Kopasa kompo.
Says he can see that in the way you brighten everything up.
Kopasa kompo. Joko.
So happy you know you're helping brighten the world. There's plenty of it that's still worth saving.
Po. Saja sendiri.
Whatever happens to the world, you shone as bright as you could. That matters more than you know.
Zai kantum.
Says you did the right thing in taking up with the Myriad. They buy lots of his lamps. That's a tribe that believes in the bright things in the world.
Po. Tiba.
It's clear you do. Nothing shines as bright as being right.
Mof bom bom.
Says he can see by the twinkle in your eyes that you're not here to talk about your allies.
Songai do po. Mof.
He assumes you are here to be enlightened. He can't blame you, as everything just feels dark and hopeless these days.
Songai do po. Kopasa kompo.
There's something about you, like you're knit together. Your fate's connected. What you've said, he feels too. So, why not call him Me Too?
Mof.
He senses you're like the dayfly, living every day like it's your last, afraid that when night comes, it might be proved right.
Tutozinka timpo.
Believes no one is entirely dark. Even the worst have a spark of good in them.
Kantiko tumpo.
Mito says he's not only into those who shine bright, he likes things that glitter too.
Kaikika kokung. Saja sendiri.
He reckons you haven't seen a glitter moth, and says it's about time you did. Even though they're nesting near gone grass, they never run out of glow.
Tiba.
Finding yourself a glitter moth would give you that glimmer of hope you need to continue all the way to the end.
Pui.
Glows with delight at your bright passion for the light. Easy does it. How do you get from here to there? That hurt 'em. Glittermoth Cave is right here. Don't get distracted by all...
That it?
That's enough glittermoths to make her plan work.
Aplitonumuta.
She wants you to stop worrying about the paths you've ridden and focus on the inevitable road ahead, the one that leads to confrontation with the Worldeater.
Vaiseno kasamanwaru narolote.
The hoof puff is evidence of the duality of evolution, utterly beautiful and grotesque at the same time.
Pendrinesenama.
She means that the hoof puff has had more time to eat at the root as it's been isolated in the Knoopstonies mountains.
Polakuto pala.
So, based on that alone, she reckons it has suffered as much damage as the northwest root that's hidden beneath the surf.
Pendrinesenama. Kanamunt. Kamonu.
The rocky ridges have been called the Knoopstonies around here for as long as she can remember. It's said the stone was grey before, but somehow changed colour over time.